Welcome, guys, to this week's podcast. John just starting us off with allergy season. Sneezes brought to you by Kleenex.
I took my Zyrtec this morning too.
And kicked in yet.
I'm all kind of messed
COVID?
up today. No, I don't have COVID, but I am sick to my stomach.
Hey,
because I'm lactose intolerant.
welcome to the podcast.
Yeah, welcome to the
Got a
podcast.
whole milk. Was it smoothie this morning?
No, I went to the coffee shop I go to every day before I come to work that my wife works at, and I always get an oat milk latte because I'm
milk?
lactose intolerant.
Same.
Oat milk, yeah. And my wife gave me a whole milk latte, and I drank the whole thing before I realized that wasn't oat milk.
And you're lactose intolerant?
And I'm lactose
You drank
intolerant.
the whole thing.
And you're
Yeah,
lactose
it's hard.
intolerant?
It's hard to
And
tell
you-
the difference between
and
oat
you're-
and whole when there's coffee.
Your lactose
in it.
intolerance makes you sneeze?
Well, that has nothing to do with the sneeze. I was just telling Alex I felt bad earlier.
Oh, yeah.
You got the tummy rumblies.
I'm not
Don't be
feeling good.
rumblies.
Yeah.
What other stories you got, John?
Those are always the best.
That's about
John's
it.
rocking the mustache this morning. I dig it.
Shaved yesterday.
He did.
Got
It's
hot.
mustache
shaved.
season.
Got hot.
Got hot and
Mustache.
shaved.
I shave for one of two reasons. Either I look in the mirror and I'm like, who is this person? Not even when it's really thick and it's like, I don't even notice this person, recognize this person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I get really hot and I just go in the house and unshave it. As quick as I can.
You're just angry.
Just
Angry
really-
shave.
just
You
to get
start
some
bleeding
relief.
every.
Do you use electric razor or do you use?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, me too.
yeah. I'm not about.
You use electric razor?
You don't?
No, I do use
Dude,
it.
it gets so much closer.
Yeah, but every
but
kind
it
of shaving I've
hurts.
ever tried breaks out my skin.
Yes. Same.
Yeah, it hurts.
Do you use
And I don't. I
Sensitive
want some
razor?
shadow left.
Oh yeah.
You do?
Yeah, I don't want.
I guess.
Not over
Straight
here.
razor?
Yeah, right.
I
You're not very
mean,
good
up-
at it.
Up here, yeah.
What kind of shaving cream do you use?
Not a straight razor.
Either Gillette or Harry's. Harry's has good shaving cream. It smells nice.
Shout out,
So-
sponsor.
Yeah,
Sponsor.
shout out. Either one of those. I go through a lot of razors,
Mm.
and so if you guys want to sponsor the pod, that'd save me quite a bit of money. So,
Do you get free stuff from sponsors?
usually,
I thought they just like.
because you got to rep their stuff.
It's true. I guess it's
They
true.
We got to build a
Stuff
following
to rep.
first, I think.
Hey, could
Yeah,
you
we need
imagine?
probably about 1,000 more views.
Yeah, at least.
Could you imagine
we're
if,
like
if babies had
15.
beards?
That would be so weird if babies had beards. Like my nephew with a beard would be the funniest thing I've ever seen.
Dude.
Like just like a little, like Henry.
I wish
Yeah.
Henry had a beard.
Henry's like a full beard.
And
Yeah,
you always
food
be
all up in
complaining
it.
about how it's itchy.
I still want, like, you to get Henry to have a mullet. I think if anybody in this world can pull off a mullet, it's Henry.
Mm.
So he hasn't had a haircut since March before the quarantine.
Uh,
Aaron cut Webb's, but she was like, I'm not going to try to cut Henry's. He's crazy. And so it's super long, which it makes it perfect
Dude.
to cut into a mullet.
I know.
It's like down here. He can't see. And he doesn't know how to pull it out of his eyes. So he's like, ah.
He's
That
like
would be
dodging.
so
He's like
funny.
dodging his hair.
that would be hilarious.
So
It would
we
be
need
very on brand for him too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we'll put him
I
in the
just-
mullet.
Like even if you don't keep it, I just want you to do it for like maybe a day.
Yeah.
Invite me over. We can
Yeah.
document it, and then
Yeah.
you can cut it that night.
Okay.
But I just got to see it. I think that's one of the things.
He's got great hair.
That's
for it,
that's
too.
on my bucket
It's
list.
like very feathered.
It's on. Yeah. It's like
Yeah.
very wavy.
Yeah.
It would look good.
So going off that, if babies have beards, what would be weird for grown-ups to do that babies do? What would be a
So
weird
we
thing?
never stop doing this.
Yeah, if you never stop doing that, or just to see like a grown-up doing this, and it's like something that a baby normally does, or baby, toddler, something like that.
Crying.
John never cries.
John never
Alex does.
cries.
It's weird.
Yeah. Alex does.
I cry a lot.
Same, man. Same.
I guess we're getting.
Easy
think-
would be pooping their pants.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's
easy.
that's
But-
easy.
I'll think.
There's other easy ones.
One of
too.
my
I think
favorites-
Putting your foot in your mouth.
Not like
just sucking
not,
on it, just
not like metaphorically, but like literally.
like literally putting your foot
It's
in your
crazy.
mouth.
Their feet can go.
Honestly, the first thing that comes to my mind, I mean, since we're still talking about Henry, it was like one of his birthday parties or something, and it was like towards the end. I think he like had like a bunch of cookies or something like that, and then he wanted another one. Y'all told him no or something like that. It was like babies get tired, something like that. And he is literally, it's at Buckhead, and it's in one of those pavilions. And he is literally, and he's all dirty, sweaty from like, you know, just playing and whatnot. And he is literally laying in the floor like this. I took video. I took a picture. It was so funny. And I just think, like, if you saw, like, a grown man in Walmart.
Just not get what they want.
Just
Yeah,
on the
just-
ground.
His wife's like, no, you've got to stop drinking sodas. And he just right there on the floor. I want it. I want it. It'd be so
Ask
funny.
for the
With
normal
mullet.
V8.
Yeah, with a mullet.
Plug.
Pitching a fit.
Yeah.
V8
Just,
Fusion.
just
V8,
imagine.
V8 Fusion.
Just imagine you walk into like this big corporate office, and then they're on a deadline. Everyone's on a deadline, so everyone's stressed, and everyone at their desk and cubicles are just sucking their thumbs. They're like typing one.
Gotta kick this habit, man. It's like smoke.
Yeah, it's like smoking.
I think babies stare and they don't break the stare either. And so I think like you know how like normal adulthood is like you like if you make eye contact with a stranger, it's like hey, like you maybe
Hey.
acknowledge them and then it's like I'm not gonna keep staring at you. Babies will just be like.
Or
Yeah, when
or you're at a restaurant,
I'm like,
and
you
they're
wanna
in the
fight, dude?
booths
Square
across
up.
from you, and they're
I
turned
was-
around. They're just going.
I was literally just about to say that.
Just a grown man looking.
Sitting over his mom's shoulder.
If a stranger stares at me for long enough, I'm like, all right, let's go. Let's square up there.
You got a problem. You got a problem.
But then on the other end of that, anytime like a baby's like staring at you, you always do like weird things to try to make them laugh.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Stupid face.
I always love watching like when people are taking like trying to get their babies to like pose and like smile, and they're like behind the camera and they're like doing all these weird things. I always want to take a picture of them and
Yeah.
not like the baby because it's ridiculous. It's so funny.
That was a good question.
We could talk on this a long time. So
Let's do
you know
it.
the.
Whole podcast.
Good thing we're doing it.
Yeah.
So my boys wear those swimmies, but now they have swimmies that like are a life jacket too. So it goes around and then it has arm things. Like to keep you afloat. So if you saw just Alex with this swimmy on with these floaties on his arms,
It's not kidding.
and it's so
Dude,
serious.
Those new floaties that just go around the baby's head. Have you
What?
seen those?
I have seen that.
Wow.
It scares me to
Big
Little,
kids
death.
are
little
head above
kids
the
are just
water.
saying it's like a grown man at the river.
He's just
a
bobbing.
head
So
bobbing.
yeah, not like a.
Well,
yeah,
like-
I think that'd be hilarious.
Well, just like this is like kindergarten humor, but like you know how like babies they wear diapers and then they have pants that go over their diapers and it just makes them look like so thick.
Yeah.
like if adults we just never stop wearing
We all
diapers
wear
and we're just like you can hear it like rustling around whenever we like move and stand up. It's like you wearing a diaper? Like, we just never stop doing that.
Oh my gosh.
Or people celebrate whenever we use the potty.
You walk out of the bathroom at work and everyone's like,
You're at
the
lunch,
distance.
you walk back, everybody's like, yeah, good job, Adam.
Or we
We're gonna
took
get popsicles after this.
where he took naps.
no.
That'd be so great.
That would, yeah, that would be amazing.
That would be amazing. I love
Let's
naps.
do that.
We
I'm
only eat
trying to
soft
think.
food.
Soft food.
Somebody rocked you to sleep and read you a book every night. Did you set
If
that?
nobody
sounds
had
nice.
teeth, you know,
Or if we never got rid of our baby teeth.
or never. Maybe
A bunch of grown-ups.
grown men
Tiny
with the
teeth.
tiny teeth. Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know. I'm sure there's more.
Old babies.
I love. That's so funny.
What did you say? You love babies?
The one.
No, I said old babies.
Old babies.
The image of like the little kid looking at you in the booth, looking at he's just like staring
A
at you.
grown man standing on the
Yeah.
booth.
Yeah.
I don't know you.
I don't know you.
They're just like,
There's also like baby when they get a little older they start so like for example Henry he's 2 and he mixes up his pronouns and so he's I'm not an English grammar so it may not be pronouns but he'll say like when he wants you to hold him, he'll say, "I want to hold you."
Oh yeah.
I want to hold you, because that's what we say to him.
Yeah.
So if adults
Like,
would
all right.
say stuff like that,
I want to hold you. What?
I want to hold you, dude. You can be arrested.
You get arrested. Oh man.
Sorry, bro.
Yeah,
That's funny.
babies as adults.
Babies as adults. Yeah. What would the world be like?
What if babies ran the country?
What if babies ran the country? So what if
It would be terrible.
children ran for office?
Oh gosh. Baby of the year. It's like we're trying to figure out who's the best baby. How do we? What do you mean babies run for office? What would their campaign be? How do we select them? A baby's a baby.
I don't know.
So what?
Who's
so is the
well
question-
above? Who's in the top percentile? You
Yeah.
know, they're like
What-
he's in the top percentile of his
What's
height.
the
Is the
line?
question like what would happen? If babies
Yeah,
were
maybe
office?
babies or maybe children.
Children.
Like
Children.
children, they're a little
running
bit more
the country.
developed. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is
President,
basically what
free
we have
chocolate
right
milk
now.
for everybody.
Just kidding.
Controversy.
Bunch of children up in D.C.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bunch of children. Children running the country.
Chocolate milk for everybody.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I feel like
water
there'd be, like,
fountains would be chocolate milk fountains.
Oh my gosh, that'd be amazing. It
Yeah.
would be so dirty,
Mhm.
but it would
That would
be.
be-
I feel like
It'd probably be amazing for the first like week.
Yeah.
And then it starts to stink.
Yeah, and then the ones.
They never
milk
change the
goes-
milk out.
Yeah.
Chunky
one-
lemon milk.
Yeah, no more chunky lemon milk.
That's
I
so
feel like
gross.
our taxes would go to like making free ice cream trucks. Like ice cream trucks just like drive around and it's just the constant sound of ice cream trucks, and then whenever you want one you're just like, hey. They just pull over, get a little bomb
I
pop.
think our roads and like bridges would be terribly
Mhm.
built,
Yeah.
because I
Well,
see our
they're
kids
running
build
the-
stuff with blocks and they fall over at
Oh,
the drop
yeah.
of a hat.
That's
Yeah,
true.
Easy.
So
Or it would just
But
get
would we
ignored
have
for other
vehicles,
stuff.
or would we have
the
like?
news would be filled of like skyscrapers that just fell over.
I feel like we would have cars. We'd have big wheels.
that'd
You
be
know?
We'd
cool.
all have big
That
wheels.
everybody's like, all right, gonna go to work.
It would take forever to get places.
Because the
Couldn't
first,
park anywhere.
like 10 feet, you're just spinning.
Yeah.
You have to, all the cars, you have to go in reverse to go forward. Because the
Oh,
car, you have to pull
back
back.
up.
Line it up.
I got back up.
Can you give me
Gotta
a
have
push?
room.
That's
Go forward. I think that's maybe off topic.
No, that's right on there.
That was real nice.
Babies ran the country.
It would be terrible.
It'd be a madhouse.
The only like TV stations would all just play that.
Little baby bum.
Yeah, it would just play Little Baby
Mickey
Bum
Mouse
all day.
Clubhouse?
We'd all go crazy. It would be like
Hey, there's
Brainwashing.
something. There's
So
something
much Baby
brainwashed
Shark.
in Little Baby Bum. You guys ever seen it?
Really?
no, I haven't.
What
Is
is
there a
it?
theory behind it
So-
actually? Because I've
I
been
don't even know
saying
what
that
that
for
is.
years.
So Little Baby Bum is on Netflix, and like it
I'm gonna go watch it.
mesmerizes our boys. It's
Really?
just these little animals set to this these nursery rhymes, but the music is
Hypnotizing?
Yeah, hypnotizing. And so when you turn it on, the boys are like,
That's anybody's kid too. That's all my nieces and nephews, bro. They could be screaming and you turn it on and it'll just.
Hey, that's one going back to our
So-
original question. What if, like, anytime you turn on TV, like, anybody anywhere just.
Like,
yeah,
that kinda
locked
happens.
on.
But what's
So,
behind?
check out Little Baby Bum.
What?
You haven't seen like a.
I think if you
conspiracy
played it in
video?
reverse, it might say something creepy, but I haven't done it yet.
Hey, I low key think that Teletubbies was that. Did
The,
that too.
Teletubbies.
Teletubbies, like when I was a kid, I remember I remember thinking this is a baby show, but I can't not watch this.
It scared. Teletubbies scared me.
It's
I couldn't
creepy
watch
now.
it.
Yeah.
It's creepy now. But like when I was a kid, I was like, what? It was,
Just tuned in.
yeah, it's like psychedelic or something.
It's just PBS shows.
Yeah,
Yeah. And nursery rhymes. They're
Yeah.
the weirdest songs in the world.
they are, and they're kind of dark.
They're real dark.
There was one. I don't know.
Putting a blackbird and pudding or
I
something.
don't know the lyrics.
Even
Somebody did that recently.
the old
Some famous
man is
person.
snoring. When it's
Oh.
like he woke up in the morning, bumped his head. He won't wake up till morning.
Yeah.
Like, bro, you should probably check on him.
Yeah.
He
Yeah.
probably
He's
has a
unconscious.
concussion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's got a concussion.
Like you can't just.
I
Like,
thought
so
it was
weird to
I
be
couldn't
in
wake up
nursery.
in the morning.
Maybe it is.
I thought it was like he died.
Died of concussion.
Maybe he did.
And he never woke up.
Like,
He
why
woke
do
up
you sing
dead.
that stuff?
He woke up dead.
Or the Rockabye Baby, and there's like the cradle falls.
Yeah.
Why?
The bell breaks, the cradle will fall,
Yeah.
and down will go cradle, baby, and all.
Yeah, it's so scary.
What?
Baby,
Yeah.
no.
They're
I never
they're
knew that.
creepy. You gotta like look up like lyrics to
Hold on.
Nursery rhymes, they're creepy.
to nursery rhymes. A lot of them are.
This
Well, then there's
was-
like Ring Around the Rosie, which was like it's about a plague.
Oh yeah.
It's about the plague.
Which
but,
plague?
we
Was it
just
Black
sing that
Plague?
stuff.
I don't know.
The
It was just
bubonic
something I
plague?
read on Stumble Upon one time.
The bubonic plague. You guys ever watch Zoom?
Oh,
As
of
a kid?
course, dude.
I always wanted to be one of the Zoom
Come
kids.
on,
Zoom.
Zoom.
Yeah, it was on PBS. It's like kids doing science experiments and stuff.
They do science experiments. They would do just like, you know, those things you see. We see them a lot more now that we have the quarantine. But you see like people making these long contraptions, like they hit dominoes and they
Oh,
roll
yeah.
and it like hits a string. And
Yeah.
then
Rube
there was like
Goldberg.
half of Zoom episodes were just them building one of those.
It was sick though.
It was awesome.
Look-
Ah, I've never re-looked at these. Rockabye Baby in the treetop. Why are you rocking a baby in a treetop?
Yeah, who knows?
When the wind
Hot
blows,
from the
the
monkey.
cradle will rock. When the bough breaks, the cradle will fall from the treetop, and down will come baby, cradle and all.
Yeah, we sing that
What?
so sweet.
It's like,
Rockabye baby.
Like with a smile on our face.
Who wrote it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Hold on.
King Henry.
That's like Tarzan.
Henry VIII. Oh,
Ring-
Henry
so-
VIII. I am.
Ring around the rosy, a pocket full of posies. Ashes, ashes, we all fall down.
Yeah,
Yeah, they're dying.
Yeah.
it's about people dying.
It's about the bubonic plague.
And I think Posey was like some kind of treatment that helped it or something. Pocket full of posies.
Yeah, it's
I think British kids wrote that, right?
Maybe.
I think that came out
British,
of England.
written
Thanks,
by British children.
Yeah.
all
The
of
British
them.
Children
Yeah.
Alliance.
The British Children Alliance. The BCA.
The Beatles, I think.
The
wrote that.
BCA.
Yeah, it's
Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again.
he died.
He was an egg.
He never made it back.
Well, yeah, but like, just like.
But he
yeah,
never
he
made
died.
it back, bro.
Yeah,
he
they're
died.
all
They never fixed
pretty
it.
creepy.
All right.
God.
This is a lot of talk about babies and
Yeah.
kids today.
I know.
The baby
Which-
podcast.
So yeah, the baby podcast title, clickbait. What's like one of your first memories ever? Like
Oh man.
Oh,
one of your first memories ever.
I was just talking about this the other day with this weekend with my dad. We were we had Memorial Day weekend. We were in the pool, and I was like, I remember this weird thing. We lived in Florida. I don't remember much about Florida, but we remember weird things a lot of
Yeah.
times. And I said, I remember how my dad used to check the pH level in the pool. And I moved to Memphis when I was 6, and I was like, that just came to me all of a sudden. He had this little, I guess different now because he's got a saltwater pool now, so it's super fancy.
Right.
And
The methods are
there's
different.
sharks and stuff in there.
Yeah.
And so, but he had this little contraption he filled up with water, and so I think I remember it because he let me go fill it up with water, and then he dropped these things in. If it turned a certain color,
I used to do that too.
See
Uh,
one, do one, teach one.
that's right. It's discipleship.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I think that may be one of my earliest memories of
Wow.
checking the pH level in the pool when I lived in
Riveting
Florida.
life you
Yeah,
lived.
yeah, man. I've done a lot.
I don't know if this is just off the top of my head. I remember it was like my 4th or 5th birthday. My parents surprised us with a moon bounce and like a full-fledged like birthday party.
Whoa.
And I came downstairs from my bed, and I looked outside and saw a moon bounce just in the backyard, and I was like, and I ran out there, and my dad just picked me up and threw me into the moon bounce, and it was like I got to
Great.
bounce for an hour before anybody else got there, and so it was like ecstasy as a child. It was like the highest point in my life.
One of my earliest memories that's like that's kind of funny. Because my other one has to do with the pool too. I don't want to take your thunder from the pool.
It's funny.
But
We can only have
so
one pool story.
my family traveled when I was younger. When I was like, I mean, basically I was born and then they were still traveling. I was on the road, like when I was a little baby. But one of my main memories is we would go to these churches and they would have the service and it would be like revival meetings. And back then, revival meetings like never really had childcare, at least the churches we went to. So the nursery was always empty. So I would find my way to the nursery, and I would steal toys from the nursery.
Oh
and
my gosh.
And in the section of the motorhome, like where my part of my bed was, it had like this cabinet at the bottom that you pushed in and it opened, and I would put all the toys in there. And I found this really cool Goofy movie toy where he was like holding a bowling ball and he was laying down, and when you wound him up, he would like roll across the floor. And my dad found my stash.
Oh, he did?
Yeah, and it was such like it was like my first encounter with like secret sin, I guess. And so it was like I was hiding this thing, and it's such a clear memory because I got found out, and I got a spanking.
Oh.
That's awesome. You stole.
But you got to keep all those toys, didn't you?
Well, yeah, I mean we could go back to
Yeah,
every
you don't
church
know
that
where
we
they
went to,
came
but
from.
yeah, I don't know if I could play with them still. I don't remember that, but
That's funny. And give them to some other kid.
drop them off at the next nursery.
Yeah.
Here are all these
I want to
toys.
bless you guys with all these toys. Why do you just have all these?
That's
Yeah,
something
grew 'em.
Yeah. He's 3.
I say probably one of like the first like images I remember came from like our house. I used to live in Countrywood when I was like birth to 4, and then we moved to Arkansas. But I just remember we had a little dog named Peanut Butter, and then there was snow outside. And that's all I
That's
remember.
the end of the story.
Wow, that was crazy.
And I just remember seeing him out there. The
Peanut butter in the
second,
snow, huh?
the second one I remember, because I remember like if I can
What if it
remember.
was the ice storm? The ice storm in '96. Or did you move?
94.
'94. Oh, it might have
That
been.
could have been it.
Might have been.
That could have been it.
Yeah, could have been there.
Ice storms have not been good to me, and I had another one, and I was like,
Because it was
junior
the year we came.
Yeah.
Okay.
We came in October, but it was like January, February.
It could have been it for sure. Also, I don't really remember what happened to Peanut Butter because he just like wasn't there in my life anymore.
I
Like we
saw
got him as a
snow,
puppy, but I don't
Maybe
remember,
that's why you remember
him
that
beyond a
snowstorm
puppy.
was because he
They
died.
they sent him to a farm in New York.
We're getting off topic. But
What's new?
my parents told me that they sent one of our dogs to a farm
Yep.
one time.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, good, because he's a big dog and he needs to run.
Yeah, that's
And then I was like in college, and I was like, man, I miss Smokey. He was such a pretty dog. And then I was like talking to somebody, and I was like, yeah, my parents sent him to a farm. And then I went,
Oh. You like heard, you said
I heard it for the first
said
time,
it
and I was
out
like,
loud.
oh, no.
Wait a minute.
No, they
Oh.
didn't.
But no, the other one that I remember was I have a scar on my head, right up here on my forehead. And I just remember I was at a friend's house, Michael Candelaria. I haven't
Shout
seen him
out.
since.
That
sounds made
Shout
up.
out. I haven't talked to him since this, probably. We were over at his house. We lived on Granbury Place in Countrywood. We were over at his house, and you know those like little things that you can push. It's like a fake lawnmower.
Yeah.
And it's like it's a tubular thing, and inside's these balls, and so it's like it makes a lot of noise or whatever.
It's terrible.
It's like a lawnmower. Well, I used to like take off with. I would like
So sick
run.
of these
I would
things.
like run with it and stuff. So they had a hallway, and I just remember running down the hallway, and then just nailing a doorknob. But it wasn't like I was running down the hallway and somebody opened the door. It was
Ran
the
into it.
closet door at the end of the hallway, and it was closed.
You just ran full into it.
I just ran straight into the end of the hallway, smoked it, and I got like a bunch of stitches up there. That's probably one of my earliest memories.
Memories.
My mom, this is heads up, this is maybe TMI. My mom always tells me that when I was a kid, I had like this uncanny pattern that I would do. She said like anytime we ever went out to eat at a restaurant, like the second that my dad's food like hit the table, I would be like, I gotta go poo. And he'd be like, oh, like he'd have to like go take me to the bathroom.
That's funny.
Like she said, it happened like almost every time we went out to eat.
That's so funny.
So sick of it.
Well, we don't have much time left, but if we just wanted to run
All this
around,
baby talk.
yeah, all this baby talk really got us off course. But just a question that we like to do at the end, you know, just kind of end it with a little serious question or something like that. Something to glean from, because really, up until this point, there's really no gleaning from anything. But what's something that you do personally to refresh yourself spiritually? Like maybe something above and beyond normal things. But what's something you do to refresh yourself?
Yeah. So there's days when, I'll try to be really quick on this, that get busy, you get distracted, and you come to the end of a day or end of a season, and you're like, dude, I feel discouraged. I feel like I haven't spent time with the Lord. I feel anxious, those kinds of things. And so you need to come to that point. And so I try to, put my phone down. And so I usually set some time aside in some evenings where I don't look at my phone. I don't look at Twitter or Instagram, because I cannot be refreshed, for me personally, with my phone around me. So I have to put that down. And honestly, I try to spend time in the Word early. It's just sitting in complete silence.
Yeah.
And just
good.
looking at a blank TV screen, sitting in my recliner, and that just gives me some just thinking through thoughts. And that's one of the ways I do.
That's good.
Yes, that's a big thing for me, is just like solitude and quiet for a long period of time. But I think writing is a big thing for me. Because I don't do that religiously. But yeah, having a certain part of the week where I get home at the end of the day and I just sit down and like write out prayers or thoughts or whatever I need to kind of get out. It's kind of like a confessional thing.
It's good.
I'll go to like either a bookstore that has a coffee shop in it, like a Barnes and Noble or something, or just a coffee shop and just sit and read. I do that quite a bit. Or I'll go play golf by myself. That sounds like it's like just some sort of alone time. Like either whether I'll go for a drive like late at night, I'll go play golf by myself, or I'll like go to a movie by myself. Just something to just be alone enough to where I can think.
Yeah.
So it's good.
I'd probably say mine's similar, I guess. Just trying to find alone, solitude, like that. I think of that verse, Psalms 46:10, or Psalm 46:10. Josh, you always get mad
Thanks.
at us. Yeah.
It's one song.
It's one.
Not songs.
Just to be still and know that I'm God. Like, I think it's just sitting in the knowledge that He is God and I'm not. And that is refreshing.
Yeah.
Like, and it sounds so weird because, like, there's such a go, a grabbing of attention all the time that it's counterintuitive to, like, how we're programmed by the world in a lot of ways to feel, but just be still and know. And there's power in that. Not necessarily doing anything, not necessarily reading the Bible, not necessarily journaling. I mean, that's good too. But just to be still and think about the knowledge of that He is God.
Yeah.
And to dwell on that.
That's good.
And prayer. So, yeah, that's what we got. Baby talk and refreshment. So, thanks for tuning in this week. We are so grateful you tuned in with us. We will see you next time.
Love you guys.